I'm new to backpacking. I'm so new that I had to start my first trip from zero. Actually, it was 13 years ago when I started dreaming about cycling the world. I wanted so badly to just jump on a bicycle, head either east or west, and one day return home from the other side of the planet. But for 13 years, I did absolutely nothing about materializing my dream. What happened? I think life happened. Nowadays, I have other priorities in life and cycling the world no longer appeals to me. However, the dream about bikepacking adventure is still as vivid as it was 13 years ago. And here I am, planning my first tiny adventure on bikepacking to the northernmost part of Europe, Nordkapp in Norway. For some, Nordkapp sounds like a place way too far, but not for me, because I live in Rovaniemi, northern Finland, exactly on the Arctic Circle line. From my home to Nordkapp, I would need to cycle 760 kilometers. The biggest obstacle is expected to be the unstable weather in May. But the greatest uncertainty lies in my bikepacking experience, which is close to zero. There are many ways to travel, and there is no right or wrong way, but I feel a special sense of freedom while cycling. I don't know where it comes from. Maybe from my childhood when having a bicycle was a big deal. Back then we were riding our bicycles only summertime. And that was one of the greatest feelings of freedom in my childhood. I always dreamed about Brook Saddle. The first time when I learned about Brook Saddles was maybe 10 years ago, and back then I was in the UK, in London, and sometimes I would go to a bicycle shop and just observe the saddles, touch them. They're not super expensive, but somehow I never got to buy one. Maybe I was waiting for a special occasion. And now it comes with this bicycle. This leather is supposed to take the shape of my butt. It's pretty heavy, but I don't mind. Although I have never done a single overnight bikepacking trip in my life, I'm cycling daily, and I still get that old feeling of freedom whenever I jump on a bike, even if it's just for going to the shop. And for some time now, it's itching me from the inside to jump on the bike and cycle to the end of the world. This might sound a bit too much for a first-timer, but there is no reason to worry about my decision. In fact, by profession, I'm a wilderness guide. I'm a passionate hiker, and I've spent countless nights in a tent. And on top of it, my hobby is long-distance running and mountaineering. So, believe me, I'm not doing anything I'm not ready for. This is Neshko, a former homeless kitten and current owner of our home. My wife Nadya and I rescued him from the street in my home country Bulgaria. The name Sneshku means snowy. When we found him, this name came naturally as he looked like a tiny fluffy snowflake. I took my new bicycle on a test ride, and thank God I did that. My brand new bike had arrived with a defective chain. I emailed the shop where I bought it from, but they told me to fix it myself, so I did. I followed the advice of the Finnish cycling adventurer Tuija Kaupinen to hang a map of the area I was about to cycle on the wall and watch it every day. And I can confirm, nothing can substitute the perspective a good map can give. So here I am, all packed and ready to go right after lunch with Nadya and Snezhko. We still have plenty of snow and ice here in the north at the beginning of May. It's definitely not the best time of the year to cycle to Nordkapp. But unfortunately, I don't get to choose when I have spare time for this. I have only now. In my opinion, the best is when you can get out the door and dive straight into the adventure. I started cycling 2 days earlier than planned because, according to the forecast, 5 days from now the weather will turn bad in the far north. So this trip might turn into a race with the bad weather to the north. Let's see who will get there first.
I'm getting out from town, no more cycling lines, and I'm gonna make myself visible now. "43 kilometers. Only 3 hours after the start, started raining. I think I'd rather wait. If it doesn't stop, I'm just gonna pitch the tent." Still waiting. There wasn't anything like this in the forecast. I was just picking a pace. My hope was to cycle as much as I can until I feel sleepy, to generate about 100 kilometers before I go to bed. Oh, the day is not over, but it doesn't look like it's gonna stop any soon. That wasn't included in the plan. So guys, the rain doesn't stop. I've been waiting for about 1 hour and I started feeling a little bit chilly because I didn't put the waterproof clothes on time. I hope it will stop raining, so I got a little bit wet. And I think I'm gonna start moving and see how it feels. But there is no point to wait for the rain to stop. I'm moving again. Just 5 minutes ago it looked like it will never stop raining. It felt so depressing and demotivating. But as soon as I started cycling, I can see far away, clear sky. It's not raining anymore and things look way more positive. 48 kilometers. It's 3 degrees Celsius. So the time is 9:45 p.m. and I've done 76 kilometers in 7.5 hours. The rain slowed me down, but I don't know, I was expecting to be a bit faster, but never mind. Now I'm hungry and I would like proper meal. I was snacking some sweet stuff, but I don't want to do that any longer. So I'm gonna cook a proper dinner, and as you see, the sun is still high. After that, I'm gonna cycle a bit more until I really feel sleepy. I'm afraid if I go to sleep now, I won't be able to fall asleep, and it's gonna be just a waste of time. I think we can call it a day. It's 1 a.m. I achieved 110 kilometers. At some point it got very chilly, close to zero, but now here it's +2. Still pretty chilly, but I hope I won't be cold while sleeping. The road is just down there. Found this relatively dry place. I'm so glad I didn't pitch the tent when it was raining. I was considering that, but I'm glad I resisted, because after that I did 70 more kilometers and now everything is dry and my tent will be dry tomorrow. So my bike will sleep here and I'll sleep here, just next to the snow. Alright, it's close here. It already feels very cozy. So the good thing is I don't need dinner, I'm just thirsty. And first thing first, I want to jump inside the sleeping bag. Good morning. I managed to sleep about 4 hours. I went to sleep at 2 and woke up at 6:30. It was chilly. I would even say it was cold at night. My sleeping bag is not enough for 0 degrees Celsius, but it's the smallest one I have, so it fits perfectly in the bags. I'm not sure if this was a good decision, but I had no more room in the bags. Luckily it's sunny this morning and this makes a difference. Everything is dry and I'm very slow this morning. When I woke up I stayed maybe almost 1 hour in the sleeping bag, trying to move and exercise just to warm up before getting out. I want to start the day properly with a good breakfast and enough hydration and enough calories. I'll also make coffee because I don't want to stop any soon for a proper meal break. I think I'll get a pizza here. Finally, I'm gonna have a lunch without the need to work for it. "167 kilometers from start, I'm reaching Levy ski resort." Good. I love cycling ice. Right now it's 7 p.m. in my second day. In this moment I have done as many kilometers as I did yesterday, but it's only 7 p.m. so 110 kilometers. I think I'm gonna push to achieve at least 130. I think 130 is the goal for the day. Hello, hello. Look at this wonderful spot. Such a miracle. The weather tonight is so different compared to last night. Last night was really depressing. First the rain, then the cold, but now it's totally different, although I'm heading north all the time. So far 135 kilometers today, but I'm gonna use the same strategy like last night. What's the time? It's 10 p.m. It's 10 p.m. and I'm gonna have dinner. For tonight I'm having chili con carne, vegan chili con carne. Some of you might be wondering why I'm pushing so much. It's because I'm competing with the bad weather. Bad weather is coming, and all the forecast sources are having different opinion when exactly. Either tomorrow evening is Friday evening, or Saturday evening. And I honestly prefer to suffer a bit more now and have longer stages in a good weather than to ride in the rain and cold. But don't worry about me, I'm still enjoying it. The weather is incomparably better compared to last night, when it was moving between 0 and 3 degrees Celsius. It was depressingly cold. Yes, I really want to reach Alta and ride less in the rain, if possible no rain at all. And then I'm gonna check on the forecast and see how it goes. It might be that Alta will be my final destination on this trip, if there is no any good weather coming in the near future. But anyway, I'm happy with Alta. I have never been in Alta, and this trip was so far, and eventually when I accomplish it, will be a great achievement for me. As I said in the beginning, I am not very experienced in this multiple day self-sufficient cycling. What is important for me, especially in a cold weather, is a warm meal. Warm meal and hot coffee in the morning. This can bring me back to life. After the dinner, I'm back to life. Actually, right after Muonio, there is almost no snow at all. At some point before Muonio, I started getting depressed because the snow was getting more and more. It's 9:30. I can't believe I overslept so badly. I wanted to get up and start earlier than yesterday. Yesterday I started at 9:30 exactly. I was on the bicycle. And because my hope was to make a bit more kilometers today, I was aiming at least 160. Now I'm gonna need at least 2 hours to get myself ready. Oat porridge, apple and cinnamon. Really good breakfast. Yesterday it gave me so much energy. So it's time for me to approach day 3. Everything is perfect actually. I slept so well. Almost 9 hours straight. Feel very recovered. Food is going super well. I have no complaints. The only 2 little problems are that I start the day very late because I overslept, and now it's 10:30 and I need 30 more minutes to pack and get going. So I start the day at 11 compared to 9:30 yesterday, and the plan was to make even more kilometers today, so this probably won't happen. And the other little problem is that I don't have any water, not a drop of water now with me. So there is some souvenir shop, Nadya told me, 5 kilometers away, but no one knows if it's open or not. And then the next village with a shop, tiny shop there, is in 40 kilometers. So hopefully at least there I'll get some water. Let's go. Oh, I just realized I've been sleeping maybe 100 meters away from the cemetery. That's why it was so quiet. 1 kilometer, 50-cent coffee with donut. I hope this is true. Yeah, this looks very promising. Looks like proper open Finnish Sami souvenir coffee shop. I'm saved. Oh, thanks God. Just exactly when I need it the most. I'm so glad I didn't pass this place last night, because the next village would have been in 35 kilometers, and without water it's not fun. Finnish Sami souvenir shop that is beyond shop and coffee place. They have absolutely everything. It's just so full of all sorts of things that you cannot even imagine. If you need anything whatsoever, it's here in this shop. Bottles filled up with water, 1 reindeer meat sandwich for my vegan diet, and I'm good to go. It feels the greatest start of the day ever. This is my second best day for this year. Campers and campers. That's all you see on the road here. And 1 cyclist. I was hoping to spot some other cyclists, but it's probably too early. Too early in the season. Too cold. I can't believe, but it's 22 degrees already. And I think I'm gonna get rid of these pants. Oh, I am sweating so badly. Not bad. Let's beat my speed record now. Okay, some tiny little town and a nice bench here where I'm gonna have lunch. I'm gonna eat my reindeer sandwich. There you go. And over there is a gas station with car view. Maybe I'll go grab another sandwich. This will save me time, so I wouldn't need to stop and unpack and start cooking. This takes 1 hour. Today I'm moving surprisingly fast. It's almost 50 kilometers in 3.5 hours, and it's super easy to maintain a speed of 20-22 kilometers an hour. I think it's because the previous 2 days I constantly had wind on my face. I didn't want to complain about that because it's the most common cyclists complain to justify their slow pace. That's a very sad sandwich. Where are the veggies? I stopped for a pee break and look what I found.
Close to Norway, the trees slowly turn into bushes before disappearing completely. The landscape changed and I could see far away. But I could feel more wind too. Crossing the border with Norway felt like crossing the border between two civilized countries. I wish every country had such a relationship with its neighbor. Unfortunately, even in the 21st century, we can witness a primitive political regime that is trying to conquer its neighbor.
Cycling route Nordkapp Alta Kautokeino.
From now on, I'll be cycling on Euro Velo 7, so-called the Sun Route, running from Nordkapp 7,400 kilometers all the way south to Malta.
I can't believe I had to come all the way to Norway to experience proper summer. But look at that, there's not a single cloud. It's 7 p.m, the sun is still high and it's burning hot. It's around 20 degrees Celsius on the sun, maybe a bit less in the shade. And today I'm gonna have earlier dinner, same familiar things, and then I'll keep pedaling. I feel super good. I've done 90 kilometers today, and of course I told you my goal is to get as close as possible to Alta, because if the weather turns bad tomorrow, I'll have to cycle less time in the bad weather. All the time, both sides is just like this, swamps. I'm now about 10 kilometers from the border, and I'm a bit worried because I don't see any good place for sleeping.
In Kautokeino, there is one must-see thing: Juhol's Silver Gallery. This is an amazing combination of silversmith workshop gallery, museum and art exhibition. The building itself is an architectural masterpiece.
Hello from my camping site in Norway. It's 1:20 a.m. I wanted to cycle until midnight just because I wanted to get closer to Alta. So I decided to push, and here I am 90 kilometers away from Alta. But no complaints. The tent is ready, bike is locked, and I'm ready to go to sleep. And let's see what time I'm waking up tomorrow. I am waking up naturally. I don't set any alarms. And the best of all is that Nadya is coming to see me there. She's starting from Rovaniemi tomorrow morning by car, and we're gonna meet in Alta. And tomorrow I'll check the forecast again, and if the weather permits, I'll continue to North Cap. If not, it's gonna be Rovaniemi, Alta.
Good morning, 6:47. Slept so.
I'm about 80 kilometers away from Alta, more or less, and actually there is a campsite here. Maybe I could have cycled all the way here last night. As I told you, I was planning this trip according to the weather forecast, and I don't mean to be disrespectful to any profession, I'm sure it's a hard work and there's lots of science behind the forecast, but I don't know what to say. The reality has nothing to do with the forecast, and every time I update and every time I refresh the forecast site, it shows different thing, and all the forecast sources show different thing. 12 degrees is okay, but there is some cold wind. These waterfalls are gorgeous. 40 kilometers before Alta. Six kilometers before city center of Alta. So I'm gonna try my luck. Here it looks calmer. Guys, I'm so happy. This is going to be our cabin for tonight.
Oh, just arrived. Can't believe. 517 kilometers, 4 days of cycling. Alta is a cute little town with fascinating church building. However, if you don't have much time, you better skip the downtown and visit Alta Museum instead. You can thank me later. The good weather was until here. I thought I lost the first battle in this race. I was ready to end my adventure. In fact, I called Nadya to come pick me and bring me back home. But when she came, first thing she said was that she was here to help me finish my race. I think every man needs one Nadya in their life. Let's have this attempt and see how far I go today. Oh, it almost doesn't rain right now, but almost. It's about 3 degrees. North Cap, 211 kilometers. And guys, it's a miracle, but it's not snowing anymore. It's very different, the terrain is very different. After Alta, ups and downs, it feels like just ups. No, I mean, really, I'm okay to have uphills, but then I'm expecting the downhills, but somehow it feels that they never come. It feels like uphill and then flat, uphill and flat. See, the sun is trying to join the day. It feels so different. I've done 36 kilometers, and just until 5 minutes ago, it was so depressing and so demotivating.
And now all of a sudden it's completely different world. I'm Phil! I'm very Phil! 45 kilometers from Alta, 3 hours 40 minutes. I am so happy that I left most of the things in the car and I didn't need to bring 30 extra kilos on these uphills. This really made a difference. By the way, I just saw Nadya behind coming with the car. She took her time in Alta. I don't know what that sign means, but I hope it's not be aware of polar bears. It feels like I climbed that mountain and there shouldn't be anything higher, and I hope that from now on it's mostly downhill to the shore. Honestly, that's the first downhill for today. The road goes very high, some sort of plateau. It's about 0 degrees Celsius and it's snowing. I'm about halfway, a bit more. 60 kilometers done, 52 left.
Just got to the cabin. Nadya and Snezhko were already here. This was the hardest day so far because of the weather, and now I don't know what we'll do next, because the next day is there are 120-130 kilometers left to North Cap. That's too much for one day in this weather. And as soon as I got to the accommodation, but 30 seconds later, it's a summer already. Where was this weather when I was cycling? Would that be over there? I woke Nadya with the words, "That's all, my dear. Today we drive back home. This is the end of the adventure." And I meant it. I was 100% sure that was all. 1 hour later, I was putting the feet warmers on my toes for one last push. We thought that I would ride for about 10 kilometers and Nadya would have to come to pick me up by car. And then we would go home. It may sound as a pointless attempt, but I just had to have peace with myself, knowing that I tried and it didn't work. I just couldn't go home thinking, what would have happened if I tried? Okay, there is some sort of window in the weather and I'm gonna give it a try. Some motorcyclists were encouraging me now. It's a miracle weather. Snow, wind, sun, everything. It's so beautiful. I had to stop and enjoy this view
with these frames for drying fish. Actually, everything is so much more beautiful with the bad weather. Whoa, a tunnel, 3.6 kilometers. Hold on, is this a cycling line on the left side? This looks like a cycling line. I'm going there. Look at that. It felt like forever, but I can see the light at the other side of the tunnel. Whoa, I only wonder where did the good weather go? Maybe I can enter here. Warm and cozy. We can charge some batteries here. I am not going to exaggerate to say that this probably saved my day, if not more. This cabin came right on time. At some point it was brutal. I couldn't film. The wind, I got off the bike and the wind blew my bike away and it fell. I'm ready to go. Let's see how far. Looks much better for some time ahead, but there it's horrible again. Do you see the two white reindeers down there? Now the weather changed dramatically, like it's surreal. I have never seen, never experienced in my life such a drastic change in the weather so quickly and so often.
30 kilometers before Honningsvak was the first time I needed assistance from Nadya. I decided that there was no point in fighting with the strong wind anymore. I was giving it all, but still couldn't accelerate more than 7 kilometers an hour, which was almost a walking speed. Even in the weather forecast, they announced warning due to the strong winds. Nadya drove me to Honningsvak with the idea of continuing from where I stopped today the next day. That was a great opportunity to explore the mainland northernmost town of Norway. The next day I was on my bike again, attempting the last 65 kilometers. The day promised strong winds, a lot of elevation, and something that bothered me for a long time: the 7 kilometers claustrophobic tunnel that connects Magyaroja Island with the mainland. The tunnel feels endless and goes 212 meters below the sea level.
2 kilometers done. 5 left. I'm gonna wait here for some truck to pass. I have to say that it's better than I thought. Now it's coming the uphill. I'm getting out from the lowest point. Have 3 kilometers left. I was flying on downhill 52 kilometers an hour without pedaling. Now I have to pedal, but not too fast, because the air quality is a bit low here. I have to keep it inhaling through the nose only. On the way out from a tunnel in Norway, you never know what's going to be the weather like on the other side. Might be very different from what it was when you entered. Oxygen. I'm very wet. I sweated a lot.
The first foreign adventurer coming to Nordkapp was Signore Francesco Negri. It took him 2 years to travel from Ravenna, Italy, and he accomplished his dream in 1664. Now I better understand his words. Quotation: "Here, at the world's end, my longing also comes to an end, and I return home satisfied." 7 kilometers before the continent's end, I saw the first cyclist during my trip. I was afraid I would complete my trip without greeting a single bikepacker.
Good luck! Wow, after the last heavy snowstorm, the weather is rejoicing.
1 kilometer before the end, a bus with tourists stopped to congratulate me. They were all cheering me as if I was finishing a race. That was such an emotional and unexpected gift. Thank you guys. That's all. We made it. But I cannot take any credit for this achievement. That was definitely teamwork. Another dream was achieved. And the best part was that it wasn't fun just for me, but also for Nadya. We worked on that project together and brought it to success. Meanwhile, we had a lot of fun and quality time together. We will have memories to share with our children and grandchildren. Life is good.